I'm Joe Kane.
I'm Sal Conca.
And I'm Wayne Heckler.
And this is the Imperfect Podcast.
Don't forget to check us out at hecklerkane.com and everywhere on social media.
To the bumper.
A little bit about Bad Mary. They draw from influences like Blondie, the Ramones, Green Day, and Paramore, but they've created their own strain of punk that takes you back to New York in the 70s, but with a modern vibe. Following up on their critically acclaimed debut, Better Days, which was released in 2013, the high-octane four-piece group, led by powerhouse singer Amanda Mack, Mike Staub on bass and vocals, Bill Mack on drums, and David Henderson on guitar, they split their latest blast of infectious, in-your-face songs into two driving EPs, Killing Dinosaurs in 2015 and We Could Have Saved the World in 2016. Hey guys, how you doing today?
Good.
Pretty great.
Awesome. So why don't you get us started with a song? I believe you're going to start with Space Girl.
Yeah, that's off our first album, Better Days, and are you ready?
Hello Earth, can you hear me? You won't believe what I've seen out in the farthest reach of space. My eyes have seen creation, my ears witnessed destruction, my skin has touched alien race. The people home, they don't know, they won't believe my story. You gotta tell them what I've seen. I'm just a space girl, rocket packs and lasers for eyeballs. Out here in space, it's cold and terribly lonely. When I come back, people need to see and believe me, but you won't tell them. Blasted off past Venus, bashed in a solar flare storm. I flew past Pluto and beyond. Pluto and beyond. Stopped to relax on Neptune. I danced through the rings of Saturn. Proved in space we're not alone. We are not alone. The people home, they don't know. They won't believe my story. You gotta tell them what I've seen. I'm just a space girl, rocket packs and lasers for eyeballs. Out here in space, it's cold and terribly lonely. When I come back, people need to see and believe me, but you won't tell them. You can't deactivate my air or override my senses. My visions are saved across the universe. My vengeance will be mass destructive. I'm just a space girl, rocket packs and lasers for eyeballs. Out here in space, it's cold and terribly lonely. When I come back, people need to see and believe me, but you won't tell them.
Awesome.
That was
Awesome,
good.
guys.
That was
Nice.
You sang the shit out of that.
That was really cool. Really like that.
That was badass. So what was the inspiration for that song?
Robots, I don't know.
Robots in space.
You know, that's pretty much what it was. I wrote that song, or at least the premise. I think I wrote all of that song for the most part, right?
You did. I kind of messed around with the vocals a little bit, but that was a you, baby.
That was mostly me. You know, we Bad Mary, we write songs kind of almost like two different ways. It's like David, our guitar player, he'll write something really cool on his own. He writes stuff pretty much soup to nuts. And then Amanda and I will
he'll give me like lyrics or like an idea of like I have this rhythm, and then here's the stuff that I'm gonna play and do something, and it takes a little while to kind of like
create around that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's always interesting to see what it morphs into because it never ends up the same way that it was when we first he
brings really great ideas to the table with the stuff he writes, and some of the songs he writes I mean I absolutely love playing. I mean our fans absolutely love some of those songs too. And then there's the David always jokes around. So there's David songs that started with him, and then there's songs that start out with us. And Space Girl was a song that I think I had actually written about 3 or 4 years before the band even thought about starting writing original music. You know, I was in my bedroom at my parents' old house, and I was playing around on a keyboard that I had in there, and I came up with that little riff from the chorus, the overarching theme for the chorus that I originally wanted on keyboards, and I was working on a weird concept album at that time. It was a mistake, but it wasn't actually. It wasn't called.
Experience.
It wasn't called Space Girl at that time. It was something else.
Artistic development.
It was something else.
Okay.
It was somehow weirder, stranger than what Space Girl is about, and I think. I'll dive into it at another time when I'm feeling brave.
Album's respected release date is 2036.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
Really working on it.
It's
until
never
then.
dead, right?
Yeah.
It's just,
The concept is never going to go
resurface.
away. So yeah, we wrote Space Girl, and we included that in our first album, and it gives us this kind of like homage to a lot of punk bands. While we do like to write stuff that's aggressive and has lyrics that are about like self-empowerment and
Or just, if you need just an angry song to like, just say,
Revolution.
yeah.
like a revolution type song. But like Space Girls, like we also want to pay homage to the stuff that we like, and I'm a big fan of sci-fi and movies and video games and comic books and all that stuff. So that's kind of playing upon that. And
But also you get to have a lot of fun with that. Like Space Girl is so, it's a silly song, but when we play it live, sometimes I just get very like, this is so serious.
Well, I got to tell you, I really appreciate. You see a lot of punk bands out there, and a lot of that label themselves as punk bands. They don't have harmonies that are going quite as intricate as what you guys are doing. You don't see that out there. So
Yeah, especially from local talent, I find like a lot of times. I mean, we're big Green Day fans.
Yeah.
I mean, they're bringing the harmonies a lot and all that stuff, and but you guys are definitely a little more polished in that area, I think, than some of the other bands we've heard. So
I think
There's
that's
definitely just a musicality to it. It doesn't, just because you have a certain attitude behind your music doesn't mean,
you can't bring.
it doesn't mean it has to have it either. It's just,
Yeah, I think
play around with it.
that we, Amanda and I can sing together and do harmonies. I don't want to say it comes natural because we do work on them. But I think her background in theater, in musical theater in general, my background in music and ear training. I went to school for music. You went to school for theater. I also went to school for business.
You answered my question for me,
Yeah.
so then awesome. Because I was kind of curious about what the musicality, where does the background come from?
Yeah,
So.
I'm a
Yeah,
jazz
we'll
guy.
scratch that question.
when
like
my
a
dad and I actually first started ever performing together was when I was like younger, doing community theater, like musical theater programs and stuff like that. He was always a drummer. Like growing up my whole life, he always played drums, was always in bands. So when I was a kid in like their theater arts training program, almost, they had like an after school, like we would go a bunch of days a week. He would play in the pit for those shows. So that's kind of how
Cool.
we started doing that together. And the lead singer of his band when I was a kid is actually the person that got me into it when I was younger, because I saw her up on stage. She's like, oh, she looks really cool. I want to try that. Okay.
We played in plenty of pits ourselves.
Yeah, we played in a whole bunch
Yeah.
of bits.
That's a fun animal there.
Absolutely, sure.
Do you play any instruments as well, Amanda? Or
I've attempted several.
You can play one song on piano.
I was in the recorder club when I was in junior high school.
awesome.
Just rocked that.
Joe probably has one for his kids. We could bring
was
down
so
here if you
cool.
want to play it.
I have a full set. We could all do it like a nice quintet here if we like.
My friend Lily plays two at the same time. With her nose.
Oh well,
There you go.
After
prefer
seeing
if we
that,
didn't
like,
stick-
I don't know if I can top that, so I might have to just leave the recorder.
Hot
there.
cross
It is.
buns
I
in
know I'll never
harmony.
beat it.
She
Yeah.
did that. Yeah,
It's
that was.
impressive.
Well, you can play one song on piano, right?
I can play like parts of it. I can hit piano keys.
Oh,
with my
that's
hands. That's
That
what
I can
yeah.
do.
It can make
pushing
noise.
buttons.
That's awesome.
I have to say, man, you have a very strong voice. Reminds you a little Pat Benatar-ish. Not to narrow you down to a style, but in a very good compliment. I mean that.
would
It's
never
very
Be
strong.
upset with anyone
Right.
making that reference, even if
Right.
you were narrowing me down to that
Right,
style. Like,
right, but really
thank
strong,
you.
both of you guys. I mean, I'm very impressed. I really
Oh,
enjoyed
thanks.
that. Yes.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Amanda. Yeah. She's got that power, man.
Yes.
I've heard also that Pat Benatar is like a trained opera singer.
Oh, I mean,
Oh.
why not?
So theater for
So
you,
things you
opera for her.
wouldn't- yeah.
See,
Maybe
all
you and
goes.
Pat-
And if
me-
that's not true, it was a Snapple fact. I read it.
Hey.
That's not
Blame-
true.
blame
either.
them,
What's
right.
true? I don't know.
Blame Snapple.
By
Nice.
the way, we're sponsored by
Snapple.
Sorry, should we bleep that out?
No, definitely not. So how long have you guys been together and writing together?
Well, I
Which
guess
came
at-
first, the relationship or the music?
Well,
a good
I don't think we
question.
even got into this.
We knew each other first.
Okay.
So
Yes.
we knew each other for several years before the band started, but
Mm-hmm.
we weren't like together. We weren't super close, but like we were always in the same circles.
Did you
I don't know. Maybe you'll say something different.
did you know that you were both musicians when you knew each other? Like you knew that part
He
of
wore
each other?
headphones a lot, so I knew he liked music.
Okay.
Yeah, I played trumpet in college. I played trumpet all throughout college. I'm a jazz trumpet player. Originally, that's like my first instrument, my main instrument.
Awesome.
I learned bass when I was about 13. My brother got a bass for like his 5th grade graduation and didn't play it. He was like, "I'm done. You can have it." So I took it and I learned how to play bass. I played in bands all throughout high school. And I played with bands in college, and I met Amanda. I hung out with the theater kids because a friend of mine that I went to high school with, also went to college with, he's a theater guy, so he got me involved with the theater kids. I met Amanda probably like 10 years ago. So we started dating way after that. We started dating about 6 years, a little bit over 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And we had been in the band, but not writing music at that point in time. We were in a cover band originally. We used to play all the drama department,
They had like parties
parties
and,
and
stuff on
functions.
campus or fundraisers.
Our guitar player David, who he was the chair of Hofstra University's drama department for a while, and
he still has a band on campus, and it's comprised of whatever students are there that can
Yeah,
play,
sure.
and they usually that's how we kind of started.
that's
playing
and
together,
what happened is we were played in
So
that
it's
band.
still there's some group now, so it's just kind of a tradition that's like
Nice.
carried
Yeah,
on.
Like SNL, where they just replace
Yeah.
characters every
yeah,
year.
kind of like that. It's like they
It's a David and the Hendersons.
yeah,
There
David
you go.
Henderson. It's his band, and
Cool.
and they're actually a lot of fun. We played
a lot of fun.
I played with them when I was at the end of my college career, and I started playing. I played guitar and bass for them in those days, and that's where David and I really got close and became really good friends. And after we played a Christmas show or a holiday show at Hofstra, a holiday party, and I remember turning around to everyone. I'm like, "This is a lot of fun. Do you guys want to continue to do this after the year's over?" Because normally it would be the end of the year, and then the band wouldn't play, and they would get together just for the holiday party.
That
And the
grouping too, though, we were all planning to stay like in the Long Island
Yeah,
area.
yeah, we're
'cause
gonna
a
be
lot of
close.
times too, people graduate and they'll either like stay here or move.
Mhm.
You know, so we were all like, "Hey, we're gonna be around. Why don't we?"
yeah, we were hanging
Stick
around. We would go to
together,
David's
yeah.
house every Sunday and work on new music and stuff, and making that band really good. And then we decided to keep the cover band together because we liked it. And eventually, after a couple of years, I hadn't written original music in a while. I wrote a lot of original music when I was in high school and at the beginning of college. I played with bands. And I went to Dave, and I'm like, "I really want to start writing." And he looked at me and he was like, "I really want to start writing too." So we both kind of started writing on our own. And then Amanda and I really started, we were already dating at that point, and we really started coming up with cool ideas. I would throw ideas at her. Luckily, she's a really good lyrics editor. So my
I was an English major.
yeah, well,
So.
yeah.
That helps.
Comes in
Thomas
handy. Yeah.
Yeah, my
Definitely
You know
comes in
words.
handy.
I'm not the
right.
strongest. I'm not the strongest lyricist. I find vocal lines and hooks before I find lyrics, and I'll give Amanda a general idea. I'm like, "This is a line that I have, and I want you to run with it." We wrote a song called "Soapbox," which is on Killing Dinosaurs. I think it's the first song on Killing Dinosaurs.
Yeah, it is the first one.
And the only line I had was the first line of the song, which was, "I'm not asking a question." And I said to Amanda, I'm like, "This is the main lyric. This is the idea I want. I want kind of like you're sick of people who are loud and annoying." So she
It's
ran
one
with
of
it.
those you can kind of like attribute it to what you're feeling at
Yeah.
that time. Like we have
Sure.
a couple of those that it's like, what do you think this is about for you in your life? Great, scream it. So
Right.
It's one of those songs. So
Yeah.
we ran with that, and
Those are
and
fun.
luckily I have that. And I love writing with David as
Well, you
well.
wrote the bridge for that too, because you
Yeah.
sing the bridge on that. So that'll happen sometimes. Like, well, you
Yeah.
sing that line, so see
Mhm.
what you want to
Mhm.
say.
And
Right.
then
Very collaborative.
absolutely, yeah, we've
Yeah.
we've absolutely
And then we'll hand it over to Bill,
and
my
you're-
dad, and he just
yeah.
beats the
And
crap
he'll add
out
on
of
top, and
everything.
he'll do
Yeah.
something
well,
to
well,
it also.
well, Bill
Like, we
Bill
wanted
on
this
drums.
feel. All right.
Yeah, Bill on drums just comes in and kind of just does his magic. We have a hard time writing drums. It's just I never played drums. David can actually play drums. He's actually pretty decent, but he has ideas and he gives them to Bill, and Bill just runs away with it. Like my favorite example of Bill taking the drums to a song and completely changing them. We have a song on our first album called Ninja, and it was really kind of straight up when we first played it, first wrote it, and David did a really cool job with it. But then Bill came in and he started playing like these like James Brown funk drums on it, and I don't know what he does, but he lays back just enough behind the beat to where it kind of has this really cool feel to it, and it's very unique. You don't get that with many other drummers that we've experienced with, and that's why it's always good having him in the band as well. We love everyone brings something.
And that's the thing with a band, any band, whether you're a cover band, original band, right? The four people, they generally start to take on roles. And, who's got the lyrics, who's got the hooks, who's going to gel it all together, and, you get comfortable in those roles, and you need everybody to kind of bring those things to the table. So it's great that you guys have that. That's probably why you've been together so long, right? 2009, you guys.
Yeah. Like 2009 we started, and even nowadays it's funny because you can tell from our newer stuff, which isn't even close to being released yet, that we have for another EP that we're putting together. The songs that David has been writing and the songs that I have been writing, or that we've been writing, Amanda and I, are starting to kind of sound similar. And
you're influencing each other.
We're influencing each other in a positive way.
Cool for me to see, because I don't. Again, I can't really play anything, so I don't write.
Sure.
Yeah, but you're responsible for a lot of those vocal flourishes that make the songs.
Not forget it.
There you go. In case we didn't mention, these two are engaged, and they're going to be married in a month. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I don't think we said that on the show, actually. We were chatting about it beforehand.
We kind of inferred that they had a relationship going, but...
yeah, we didn't officially, so yeah.
I actually just met him right before we came in.
He seemed like a good guy. He had a guitar in his hand. How bad could he be?
Guitar players are always safe, right?
Yeah, technically I'm a bass player, so...
Oh, that's true.
Which
That's
is why
true, too.
Get out.
Yeah, I know, right? Which is funny because, I see all these things on the internet where it's like, oh, the bass players, nobody ever likes them, and I get upset.
Right, those little memes where they have, the guitar, the drums, the bass, I know,
I saw one the other day.
You do, the bass player's character is the only one without a name, and he's TB player, and I love that so much.
But then the Wolfman shows up.
Well, yeah, he does show up.
Right, that's right.
Well, I saw a meme the other day. It was like they had the guitar player, and he had two. It was like bathroom people, it looked like bathroom door people, and it had
thick stick figures.
Yeah, thick stick figures, and it had the guy. He had the guitar in his hand. He had two girls. And then it had the drummer, and there was 100 girls, kind of passed out. And then it had the bassist. There was another bassist. Yeah, that's about right.
Nice.
I had a friend once tell me, he goes, "Does anyone really care about the bass drive in any of these songs?" I'm like, "Yeah, actually, the bass is driving
player
the bus."
That's right.
There you go.
Of course.
We all fight for our due when
That's why it's called the bass. It's the base of the
bass.
whole thing. It's the foundation.
That's why I like to sing a lot and yell.
Yeah, you're adding. See, you had to add value. You had to bring the harmonies too, right? You got to do what you got to do. So what's life like on Long Island as a punk rock band?
It's pretty great. I don't know. What do you feel, Amanda?
I mean, I think it's a pleasant experience.
You guys get booked? You got gigs? You getting paid? What's the story?
We're getting paid little by little. We broke even.
That's a
year
good
ago.
sign.
A year
for
ago.
a band,
There are
yes.
some of our shirt prints that we don't have anymore,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool to see. So it's
Mm-hmm.
it's cool. The more we've been playing, the more we've been finding more people that are looking for it, which is a great thing. So it's just the more we go out, the kind of more energy we get back.
Absolutely. And what we're doing right now is we play a lot in the island. We play in the city. We play Brooklyn. We really like Brooklyn.
Cool.
And now we're starting to branch out. We played MIT this year. We played at their thing called the Steer Roast, where they roast a giant cow.
There were fire dancers before us. It was an experience.
It was great.
I loved it.
Nice.
Yeah. And
Flames everywhere.
there was fire and Bad Mary. And then and we've played MIT. We played in their radio station. Then we went down to Philadelphia. We played at the Liberty Music Fest in Philadelphia. We played at the a room called club called the Grape Room, which was awesome. And we're actually going back
really
there.
cool inside too. A lot of cool murals and art and stuff.
It's a good rock club.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we're going back there in another week for a Halloween party, and then we're
costumes.
we do need costumes.
If you think of
talk,
anything.
we'll talk about that. at
Zombie
some point.
punk. I mean,
Zombie
zombies
punk.
are always in,
Zombies
right?
are
This
cool.
year.
I just don't have any liquid latex for my face.
We can.
I just, we can
Amazon.
Now let me ask you, why Bad Mary? Where did that come from?
Word soup. You want to take the lead on that one, Amanda?
We were called something else at first. That if you Google searched it, there were a bunch of other bands.
Well,
there were clubs.
That's when we were a cover band.
And we were looking, I think, start originals, and we were kind of like, okay, do we stick with this and try to go off from there, or is this the point where we kind of okay, let's regroup and just kind of put forth a new thing. And because it was taken a lot, we were kind of like, you know what, we were Madam X is what it was, and that's kind of. That's a painting. There's a bar called that. There was like another band from Europe that was called that because we kept getting random Facebook people thinking that we were them. And we're like, no, we're not. So we're like, we're already getting confusion and we haven't even put anything out. So let's see what we got.
Free publicity.
Yeah. so what we did is we have a long Bad Mary Facebook conversation that we were going back and forth for probably about a couple of weeks.
We're still going back
and
it
was just like,
well, yeah,
but like for the band name.
If you scrolled all the way up, I think it would take me like until...
It'll take you a year.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had...
And I'd miss all the current conversations.
There you go.
We were kind of bouncing name ideas off each other, and we wanted to make sure that the .com wasn't taken, or we wanted to make sure that there were no other bands with the name, stuff like that. And we wanted to make it memorable. We wanted to somehow make it punky sounding, make it something that slightly lets you know that we have a female front woman, and then
clarity was a big thing because you go to a lot of shows and you're like, hi, thanks for coming. We're and like you can't hear anybody's
Warm cabbage.
name. Or like it's like, oh, they're great. What are they called? I don't know, but this was a great show. And then you leave and you never know.
Good point.
What
yeah,
it was.
that does happen a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of David's, actually Sue, I think is the one that
David's
wife Sue, brought this up. You want something that you can scream across a parking lot and have be clearly understood.
Cool.
And that was like the final like descriptive of like it's clear, it's punchy. You know, there's a girl here. You know, you're gonna have. If you don't know the band at all, you know something's gonna happen because it's like, man, what is that?
I gotta say, that's the most thought behind any band name I've ever heard.
Yeah, because most people are like, fuck it.
Yeah,
we just like, they got drunk one night and picked the name.
What we did the first time, I think. Like, we had talked about Madam X for a while, but that was what we kind of did the first time, and we ran into so many, like, issues with that's why we didn't do that when we kind of were going for the, okay, well, what's it really going to be? What are we settle? What are what are we putting out there now?
And then and then what happened is we
I didn't like it at first because I was woken up to, hey, David had this idea, and I was like, later on in the day, I was like,
leave me
I
alone.
actually did really like that. I'm sorry, I was a grouch.
And then David went and designed our logo, which he did a really I think a great job on the logo. I think the logo is memorable. It's our drum skin, our bass drum skin head rather, and then. We use that logo for everything. It's memorable. It's bright. For some reason,
we got that for Bill for his birthday.
It's the pinkest of the
fun.
pink that we could have picked, and we picked pink and black, so it would be punky and bounce right off of it. And to this day, I think it's been pretty good for us. People know who we are, at least by name. Our name does stand out when we've played a lot of shows. But yeah, we've been playing a lot too. We went down to Delaware. We played something called the Dewey Beach Music Conference, which was so cool.
That was really fun.
And then we actually.
Where's the furthest you guys have traveled yet so far?
Probably that. We
Delaware.
did that in a day.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was rough.
And came back.
Yeah. Oh, we went. We started our trek at about 4:30 or so, I guess. Around there.
You guys picked me up from work at like 4:30.
Our set was at 11, so we get there at like 9:30 or so. We play at 11. We hang around for like because we want to actually like meet the people that are there and not go right back, even though it's like midnight. So we head back at like 1:30, I guess, and then everybody had work the next day.
I think
work the next day.
Yes.
We walked into the house at like 5, and so got some sleep and then got up for work. But yeah, you know what? It was though, it wasn't nearly
great.
as bad.
No,
we had a great time.
I had a great time. I would do it again.
Yeah, we.
I would like to stay there
that.
longer.
Yeah,
honestly.
That's a good conference. It's a really good time. But yeah, we play with. There's a really good punk rock collective. To come back to your Long Island question, there's a really good punk rock collective on this island. We play a lot with a handful of punk bands on the island. Our friends in the Samurai Pizza Cats are a big ska punk band. There's another ska punk band called the Crisis Crowns that we've played with a bunch. We're actually playing a Christmas party with them. Our buddies in Flak Jacket, who we're playing Halloween. We're playing Punktoberfest with them and Halloween with them.
Oh yeah, that's out east, right? That's out in Patchogue, right?
Yeah. That for the Great South Bay. And then, there's like all new episode that we play with. There's Mega Weapon, and then our friends Jay and the Nines from Brooklyn. So
we got a lot of shout outs to give on this one.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Am I wrecking everything? I just want to let you guys know out there
He's
that
so excited.
there are punk rock bands out there on Long Island that are doing this thing.
Find them, listen to their music.
And we, playing with Basket Case was a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun that night when we did that. So
Yeah, I don't even.
We've never mentioned that.
We
on
haven't
the
talked
podcast.
about it on our show at all.
well then.
So the secret's out. Joe and I are in a Green Day tribute band called Basket Case.
I'm sorry, did I blow your cover?
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I just don't think it ever came up.
it's just
Weird.
We're always talking about movies.
So
So
this is how we met these two.
I like
was
movies.
by going and you guys opened for
you
us.
opened for us
Yeah.
as Madam X years ago.
Years ago, a long time
You
ago.
opened for
Oh
us
my
as
God,
Madam
was
X.
that with the Me First and the Gimme
Me,
Gimmes?
it was
Me,
Yes.
it was
Me Next and the Gimme Mores.
Gimme Mores.
Yes.
I thought that name was amazing. I
Yes,
still think it's amazing.
that was that was at Revolution, right?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Ollie's Point.
Might
I
have been
think
Ollie's
at the
at
time.
that point. Yeah. Oh,
Whatever it
geez.
was.
Oh, I feel old now.
Yeah, we're all getting old. That's
Yeah.
okay. You're still younger than us, so don't worry.
Now, your guys' music was also in a film. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. Well, a couple.
Well, the one
Just recently, something got licensed,
Yes.
right?
recently, last year there was an independent film. Actually, a friend of ours was working on it and got in touch with us, and one of our songs is in that. I haven't seen it yet though. I still want to. It's called Viral Beauty, so it was kind of doing
that's
like
And that's the one like Perez Hilton is attached to. Is that
I
right?
think so. Yeah.
Because I saw the trailer online. I think we were chatting about that last night, right? It's the Perez Hilton. So what did you guys? You were in the movie.
No,
No,
he just
no.
had a song
okay.
in that one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But then
The one we just got licensed for those of you who are fans of old B movies, Roger Corman did a pseudo sequel to Death Race 2000 called Death Race 2050 that takes place obviously 50 years after Death Race 2000. And we had 2 songs licensed for it. We're not sure if they're in the actual film yet, but we know that they have
Roger
been licensed.
Corman at Comic-Con told David that yes, they are in the film.
Cool.
So,
Awesome.
Good.
Yeah, so we
Good,
got 2
so we
songs
did
licensed
get
for that.
That's
but
congratulations.
the
That's a
trailer
big
for
deal.
that looks so fun. I'm just excited to see that. Those were words that came out of my mouth. I promise.
Which songs
Excited.
were licensed? Or
Sucks to Be You, which is off of Killing Dinosaurs. I think both of them are off of
both
Killing
are.
Dinosaurs and Hanging Around.
cool.
Yeah.
And you guys acted as well in some of them?
No,
In
no.
any-
Unfortunately,
Okay.
no, not yet. We're friends do a web series called Blake and Beef that we are in, and a couple of our songs have been used too.
Yeah,
Okay.
So that's being
That's
Put
in
on the
post production right now.
into
Cool.
Yeah, but
towards the end of the month.
yeah, actually that debuts on October
October
24th. But
yeah.
Death Race 2050 comes out in early 2017.
Cool.
It
We'll be
looks
looking
so
for that.
fun.
Hopefully, maybe you can introduce us to the creators, and we can have them on the show as
Okay,
well. So
yeah,
we'll
we can see if we can
we'll
talk
complete the
Yeah.
circle of life.
Roger Corman's cool. He's responsible for the original Little Shop of Horrors before like the musical.
Sure.
He's also responsible for the Fantastic Four movie in the 90s that never saw a release.
Oh wow.
It's probably better than all the other Fantastic Four movies they've made, but yeah, there's Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. It's like a legend of.
But you can't see it anywhere, or
You
can.
can get it on like DVD.
Okay.
It just
You
didn't
can,
have
or you
a-
can find it on YouTube. It's probably there illegally.
Gotcha.
Don't break the law, guys. But
But
it's
check
there.
it out.
But yeah, no, that's also something that he did. But yeah, no, he's everyone. Roger Corman. You look him up if you're not familiar with him. He did so much old. Like he's responsible for a lot of our famous directors right now. He would pretty much give them no budget and just be like, make a movie.
Mhm.
Martin Scorsese is the one name that pops out of my head that I think worked with him a lot. I don't know if George Lucas and Steven Spielberg did, but they might have. I don't know. I have to do my research. It's been a while since I read up on him. But
Cool.
a lot of that stuff. So Death Race 2050 is ridiculous and looks awesome, and I can't wait to see it. And hopefully our songs are in the movie.
We hope so,
But they have
too.
been licensed. They have been licensed. So
Well, how would you like to play us another tune?
sure, we can
And then
do
we'll
that.
come back and chat a little bit more. And what song you guys want to play for us next?
This one is we're playing Trouble.
Trouble?
This song is not one that we do live that much. For some reason it's definitely something that I think is better suited for like an acoustic performance. It's a slower song, it's a little bit darker.
This one was also written differently
Yeah.
than
Mhm.
the other ones, the ways that Mike described before. So me, Mike, and my dad actually sat down and kind of put the music behind it, and I made up just like notes to it. So the lyrics I wrote the day we recorded it.
Cool.
So this song
Yeah.
So they must have been
is a little
flowing.
special. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they were flowing.
Awesome.
All right, so you ready?
Just like your hands are wrapped inside of my skull. to you, to me, you have some kind of magnetic pull. And I don't know, but when I see your face, I'll sense a trouble. Take it slow, it's what we said, but we both know that we won't. I don't know exactly what is going on, but that's okay, you know. To make it sad. Act like we never met, but if you ask me, I know all your stories. Are you waiting over me? Have I just decided that I'm boring? A little bored myself, but I can't seem to find my way to the door. No common sense, I just can't figure out what this is all for. And I don't know, but when I see your face, I'll sense the trouble. I'm taking time, it's what we said, but we all know how that goes. And I don't know exactly what is going on, but I don't care enough to make it sound. I don't know, but when I saw your face, I sounded trouble. I'm taking time, it's what we said, but we all know how that goes. And I don't know exactly what was going on, but I just can't enough to make it sound.
Badass.
That's not
Awesome, guys.
That's a hit right there, if I ever heard one. That's
That is a hit.
really good one. Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
really awesome.
I'm
Thanks a
excited.
lot.
Yeah, we're gonna cut these into actual music videos for you guys too.
Ooh.
So you'll have
Nice.
we'll have the whole podcast, but
Very cool.
We'll
you'll
separate
have the
them
music
for you.
videos.
I like that.
You guys
Cool.
can have them, all that stuff.
Thanks.
You could tell that was a different style. Like you introduced it. You could tell it went somewhere else. But I enjoyed that. That was good.
It's,
Thank you.
yeah, it's definitely something that was a little different. You know, even it's slower electric, which is weird. It was one of those things where we started playing it acoustic. Amanda and I, just for kicks, we were playing in our living room. I would play it, and it's like, it needs for acoustic. I want to play it quicker, because it's heavier when it's electric, so you can kind of give it that
Sink
weight.
into it, yeah.
And
Right.
acoustic wise, it's like we got one guitar and a voice. We need to kind of do something to try. I mean, we're always playing stuff way too fast. Like, we're always playing stuff faster than the recording. So it's one of those things where it's like, this one actually definitely is also faster than the recording, but it's actually one of our slower songs that we've written. It's probably one of our longest songs. It's probably like 4 minutes long.
It's like takes 3
Sure.
months to listen to it. It's so
Yeah.
long.
I think most of our songs are under 3 minutes, if not under 2. So
Well,
But it's
that's
nice to have different versions of it.
Yeah,
also. That's what's
yeah.
cool about it.
yeah, that's what we're trying to do. And Amanda, I think, did a really cool job with the lyrics on that one. I had no lyrics. I was just like, I don't know, just take it and run with it. And I think we were
Well,
doing
that's
American
when we
Idiot
were-
at that time.
We were doing American Idiot at that time.
And your character at that time kind of was going
She
through.
was in a strange relationship in that show, so it was like
Mhm.
kind of the lyrics to that were kind of like an outlet to the character's frustration, which is strange, but I had like a lot going on during that time, so it was kind of like, how do I make this all make sense at once? And it just kind of like,
and it worked. I mean, the song. I think I
an
really,
awesome
I really
song.
like that song. I really like
Thank
how
you.
they came together.
And is that what? So when was that recorded? That's on one of the. That's on an
That
album
is
now,
on We
or it's
Could Have
coming.
Saved the World.
Yeah, that's
That's
definitely. on We Could
So
Have
that
Saved
was
the World,
the 2016.
yeah. Mhm.
The
last
latest
one.
release.
Yeah.
Yeah, the latest release. We recorded that around the same time as we recorded Killing Dinosaurs. We recorded a lot that summer.
Mm-hmm.
And we were gonna originally release a full album. We were gonna release a second full album called "We Could Have Saved the World," and we were talking to people, and they're like, you know what? It's gonna be very hard for you guys to get reviews. It's gonna be very hard for the music to get out there if it's a 12-track.
It's also just more
LP.
options. Like at,
Yep.
at shows now, it's like, hey, we have EP, album, this and that, and like it's just not everybody wants
A full.
a full, and if they do want, everything's available. So
There's
like,
there's a
it's
ton of
just-
people out there that are now saying like the music business is dead.
It's
you
just
can't
different.
go
It's-
out and like, do you make your money off of touring? Do you make your money off of album sales? Well, album sales are kind of shot
Yep.
Yeah.
because people go on iTunes
Spotify
and go,
and-
I like this one song. You don't buy an album.
And even that, it's not. They don't even buy anything. They just
Yeah.
go on Spotify and listen to it. And, it's great for us for exposure. It's great for us for people to hear us because now we have fans kind of
I mean,
all
I've
over the
paid
world.
us
Finding
at
you, right?
least like 0.0007 cents from listening to us on Spotify
That's
to get my
awesome.
own stuff.
If we get
That's
6 cents for every 1,000 plays, that'd be great. But like the thing with that is that I think there's a little bit of a weird mentality where people feel like they don't have to pay at all for music. And while it's great for us to get our music out there, and we want as many people to listen to it as possible, and it's not like one of those things where it's like I want my money, it's one of those things where it's like that's the mentality right now, so we got to run with it. And luckily for us, it shows. People really like buying this physical CDs still. They still will buy our EPs.
Punk fans are old school.
Yeah, but even
I like
kids.
that about them.
I just went to a Descendants show on Saturday.
did?
Oh, my
I wanted to
friend
go.
So,
Eric was
like,
there.
I'm the one.
Yep. Which was awesome, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like those guys are they have such a great story. I'm dying to see the documentary that was made on them. It's available on Amazon Prime. But they were at Riot Fest in Chicago,
Yep.
and I didn't get to see them there. And then they were here in New York, so I got to go see them. But yeah, the old school fans, they're just so much cooler.
What's weird though is we even notice that for us with like the younger people, we'll still buy stuff. We'll still buy the CDs. Like
because they're probably influenced by their
Yeah.
old school parents that are
Yeah.
getting them into that stuff,
Absolutely.
right? I mean,
There was one show we played that I think was in all ages, and we didn't know it or something. And the band that went on right before us had like their entire high school there, and they were a young band. They were like a young ska band, I want to say.
Yeah, they were like a
Right?
young funk
Great.
ska thing.
They were
great,
like
really
I
good.
had so much fun. Like they were young and great, and
Cool.
their crowd was amazing. But we realized like they were still staying because all of their parents had to come pick them up.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh my god, they're gonna be here for us. And like the way that they like wanted to know more about stuff and just wanted to know like when more shows like this were happening. It was like very cool to see because it was all these like high school kids desperately looking for like where can we get more of this? And it's just like.
Nice.
And
because they listen to the radio
Yeah.
and this is not on it.
Yep, and they
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's like, what is this? It's like they're discovering
Well,
something.
It's like I don't know if I would have been able to get through high school without punk rock. Like
Right.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
that right now. I mean, it's my favorite, genre of music. If I didn't have, a CD binder with
oh my god,
Green
CD
Day's complete
binders.
discography, all of Rancid's stuff, Bad Religion, Descendants, Ramones, all those bands, you can name them. If I didn't have a binder, CD binder full of that, Bouncing Souls, whatever, I don't think I would have got through high school. I think for me, and like what's funny is that you always listen to people, and this always offends me. You always listen to like musicians who are like, oh yeah, I started out playing punk rock and then I obviously grew up, and it's like, well, maybe you're just a jerk. like
Then you didn't really play punk
Yeah,
music.
it's
If you
like-
could say something like that, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, like, I like
Green
this.
Green Day gets a bad rap all the time by
course.
real musicians, right? I mean, it's a bunch of BS. We know it's a bunch of BS.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see them try to write Dookie. I would like to see another real musician try to write that album. Like,
Oh,
go out and try to
it's
do it.
brilliant.
Try to write something that sounds that good. Try to write American Idiot. You can't.
Exactly.
And I will defend Green Day till the day I die, because the first band I ever really got into. I was born in 1986, so Dookie came out when I was 8. Insomniac was the first album I saved up my allowance for an entire summer to buy.
Nice.
I played St. Jimmy. That it's a band that's very, very close to my childhood. So
Well,
I will defend that
seeing
band forever.
American Idiot on Broadway was technically like
It's our
our
first
first date.
the first day.
Oh,
It
cool.
was-
Oh, that's
we
outrageous.
had already like knew each other, so we were like had heard that it was closing, and I think it didn't close still for a while.
Yeah,
after we
yeah.
were like, no, there's a rumor that it might be closing. We need to see it now. So we kind of like planned
Did
to
you
go.
did you get a chance to see it when Billy Joe
With Bill?
played?
No.
No, no.
I did.
Yeah, we got to see Billy.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
That's sick.
Did you guys ever have an opportunity to play CBGBs, or did you miss that whole thing?
I didn't play it, but I had gone in high school.
Okay.
We never got. It was closed by the time we started
Sure.
playing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I played a bunch of. I played Don Hills in the city. I've played a bunch of those type of like Lower East Side places. We've played we played the Lit Lounge when it was still open. That became like a little
Oh.
Lower East Side kind of spot, and the Trash Bar in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
The trash bar.
Now they're
played there.
closing too.
They
They're-
closed.
They
Did
closed,
close
right?
Or are they
Last year.
moving? Didn't I hear they were?
They're moving to Bushwick, just like Trash and Vaudeville
air
is
quotes
moving to a less
happening.
expensive place. I don't know if they're actually moving or if they had to sadly close. Trash Bar was great. I loved it there.
Yep.
Bar was awesome.
we played
I
a
need
play-
to bring that dress back. I made a dress out of a trash bag, and
A garbage bag.
It was great. I
So
was
you had
just
your own
doing
clothing line,
I
then,
was
right?
such a designer that day.
Nice.
Oh, so couture.
Please find Amanda's clothing line.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
DIY to the max, though, right? You know.
Yeah.
I gotta do that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you gotta make a garbage dress.
It was best dress ever.
That's awesome.
That'll be the new style. It'll
Yeah,
catch on.
everyone's wearing trash.
Absolutely.
So was Green Day like? Would you say Green Day is your first band that you said that's the first album you say that? What
Me,
about you, Amanda?
personally?
What was your like first love band that you kind of songs you used to sing along to,
What's
or
funny,
you know?
I grew up clearly with my dad.
Yes.
So I listened to a lot of what he listened to in the house because it wasn't like I had to go out of my way to find music. It was always like my grandmother, his mom was a big band singer. His sister plays the oboe. Like everybody has music in my family. So I grew up like listening to The Police is still my favorite band.
Cool.
Now, but that was definitely one of the CDs. Like Sting in any capacity was always on, but he listened to everything, like a lot of Chicago, a lot of he liked Supertramp. We listened to like Huey Lewis,
Vanilla
Boston, Vanilla Fudge. He loved them. Grand Funk Railroad. He loved them. Me personally, so that's what I started out with. But then Blair, my friend Blair, actually gave me a burned copy of Dookie that she had drawn all over in Sharpie, and that was one of like my first CDs that I had independently of my parents' like music.
Sure.
So that was something that.
Yeah, and I mean the reason why we Amanda loves The Police. So the reason why
The first CD that I did buy for myself though ever was Goo Goo Dolls' "Dizzy Up the Girl."
Nice.
I remember that.
Nice.
I remember that vividly at Tower Records, and I thought that the title meant something like dirty. I had no idea, so I like went to the person behind the counter. I was like, "It can be like, do you have this one?" And she kind of looked at me like, "Yeah."
Did you have?
Yeah,
Did it
we
have
have
like the
that.
explicit lyrics on it or
No,
something?
it
or?
didn't even really like.
Yeah.
have this-
You were reading in more to it than it actually was.
I was just afraid I was gonna get in trouble. I don't know.
Too bad Tower Records and places like that closed. That's such a
yeah.
good
Makes
me
experience,
so
even just to go
upset.
hang
We
out
would
and
go
look through
there all the
albums.
time.
loved it.
Yeah, there were some times where my dad and I would go and not really looking for a specific album, but just look at the covers. And there were a couple that was just like, let's get this. What is this about?
Well, that's something to be said
exciting.
too
Yeah, right.
about album art. I mean,
Yeah.
there are still people putting out. I know we keep bringing up Green Day, but the new album with Bang Bang on it has awesome
yeah.
album art. But do you get the album? People aren't really getting the album. Are you guys into the art that goes on to your albums that you're putting out? And what are you? Who's doing that, and how are you putting that together?
Well, the first album is just our logo. David did that. The second album,
The first album was very like we did a lot.
No
of that.
budget.
no, yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
much us on our own,
Yeah.
It
and
was like we really want to make this happen. We're just gonna do
we
it.
wrote these great
And
songs, and we wanna
David
put them
David
out.
did a lot of work on that.
David,
production-wise,
like
so.
David's a designer,
Sure.
so we're lucky that he has just amazing skills when it comes to that stuff, and we're I think always gonna indebted to him for that because he's just good with that stuff, and the album, though it's simple, it's just our logo. It's a black album with the pink and white logo, and it just pops, and it's easy to see. For the for the EPs, we wanted to do photos, photo covers, so like covers of the band. So we went to a certain spot that we probably shouldn't have gone to, and took
No, it was
pictures
fine.
in Kings
It's a
Park.
Good spot.
I know the spot.
Yeah. So we went to a spot in Kings Park and took pictures with our good buddy Nick, who's been our photographer forever, and he's awesome. We love him as a human being and as a photographer, and he took some awesome pictures of us for these second EPs, or which was going to be an album at that point in time. And we want to do photos. So now for our next EP, which is going to be called Glitter Bomb, we want to figure out some cool artwork that we can do for
I
it.
want a glitter cannon at some point.
File
That's
with
a
glitter file of glitter with every album.
That's
Cool.
Glitter is the worst thing on the planet.
Oh, it's
for
the
me.
worst. It's the
It
worst.
never goes
the worst.
away.
It's,
Dimitri Martin always had the thing. It's it's the herpes of the art world.
It's the herpes of makeup. Also, I've been in Rocky Horror a couple times and covered in glitter throughout that, and it will be on you for the next several years.
actually,
Not
it's-
exaggerating.
to tie all this together, when we did American Idiot last summer, and when I played St. Jimmy, I had a pocket full of glitter that I would drop on the two characters at some point. I was like, I don't know. I asked them if I could do it, and they said yeah. So I had this glitter in my pocket, and I use it, and the glitter still finds a way onto me. It's on my phone still.
It's red glitter also.
It's red glitter.
So it's specifically red glitter.
Yeah.
And I'll still like I'll look up and he'll have like a piece of glitter like under his nose. In, like, the weirdest spot.
There you go.
I'm like, what do you?
I think because it's when I wear those pants, it's
Were you
still
at
in
the
the
strip
pocket.
club again?
No.
that red glitter.
it's in the pockets of my jeans.
You
of
just
the,
like to
It
keep
just gets
glitter in your
everywhere.
pockets.
you know
It's
what the
fine.
thing is I just pour
You can
glitter
tell
on
me.
myself every day. It's
Yeah. Glitter fetish. I've heard that. I think that's a thing. Let's Google it.
don't Google it.
Don't
You might
Google
end up with some. You might have to clear the web history after that one. You might be. I got viruses again. Oh damn it.
You guys are awesome.
Thanks.
We loved having you on today.
You're awesome.
You guys kick ass. You guys want to take us out with a song?
You
good for three,
Do you
or
want
it's
to
up
play
to you
another?
guys?
What do you want to do?
Sure.
Sure, we can do. We can do. You want to do Better Days?
We could do better days.
Sure.
All right, before they start there, thank you to Bad Mary for coming in and hanging out with us.
Thanks.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for playing. It's been awesome. You can find them on October 22nd at the Punktoberfest in Bayshore, New York. You can find them on October 28th at the Rock and Roll Halloween with Bad Mary in East Northport. Or you can find them on October 29th in the Grape Room in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And for all their other information, you can go to badmary.com.
There was a time when I thought I had all my problems figured out, but now they're building up and becoming a disaster. It seems that I need some more time to go and clear my mind, 'cause all this thinking's driving me crazy, and sitting here has got me all lazy. There must be some way out of this hell. It's safe to say that I've had better days. When I was young, I had the whole world right outside of my front door, but now the lock is stuck and I can't get it open. All the grown-ups said, well, your future here is looking oh so bright, but they were full of shit, and I can't turn my lights on. They always say they're positive, but I've got nothing left to give, and all this thinking's driving me crazy, and sitting here has got me all lazy. There must be some way out of this, and it's safe to say that I've had better days. They always say stay positive. There's nothing left to do but live, and all this thinking's driving me crazy. And sitting here has got me all lazy. There must be some way out of this hell. It's safe to say that I've had better days, better days, better days.
Nice,
Awesome.
guys. That was really nice.
You guys come back down here once a week and just play stuff for me?